to teach English. Today, John and I are teaching you how to speak English confidently at the airport. From check-in to security, we'll break down every sentence you need, clearly, simply, and naturally.
Exactly. If airport English stresses you out, don't worry. After this episode, you'll sound confident and prepared. Let's start with the very first step, check-in.
When you reach the counter, the most basic and useful sentence is, "I'd like to check in for flight BA 249 to London." Clean, polite, and always correct.
Yes. And the airline agent will usually ask, "May I have your passport, please?" You simply reply, "Sure, here you go."
Next question. Do you have any bags to check? Your answer, "Yes, I have one suitcase." Or, "No, I only have hand luggage."
And here's a phrase many people don't know. Is there an overhead locker available? Perfect when you want to confirm space for your cabin bag.
Now, let's move to security, which can be confusing if you don't understand the instructions. A very important question to ask is, do I need to take out my laptop?
Security officers may reply, "Yes, please place it in a separate tray." Simple. Clear. Another common question is, where can I put my liquids?
And here are the instructions you'll hear 100% of the time. Please remove your shoes. Empty your pockets. Walk through the scanner. Please wait for your bag.
The key is to stay calm and listen carefully. Security English is always short and direct. No complicated grammar.
Great job! You've just learned all the essential English for check-in and security.
In part 2, we'll teach you how to understand boarding announcements, ask about delays, and find your gate, all in natural English.
Don't miss it. Continue to part 2 now.
Eva, this is actually the most common question I get from students. Why do I understand English, but I can't speak it? It sounds simple, but the real reason is deeper than people think.
Exactly. People assume speaking is just knowing words. But your brain works differently. When you listen, your brain is relaxed. It just receives information. But when you speak, your brain has to do 4 things instantly. Think of an idea, translate it, structure the sentence. Speak it clearly, all in less than a second.
And the biggest problem is number 2, translation. If your brain is still translating from your native language to English, you'll always speak slowly, with hesitation.
Exactly. Think of your brain like a computer. If you run too many apps at once, it freezes. When you translate while speaking, your brain freezes the same way.
Right? And students blame themselves. I'm not good at English. I forget everything. I get nervous. But it's not your fault. Your brain is simply not trained to think in English yet.
That's why this episode is so important. We're going to teach you how to train your brain to think, react, and speak automatically, just like native speakers.
And don't worry, you don't need grammar books or complicated vocabulary. A few simple habits can completely rewire your mind.
Okay, John. Should we reveal the first tip?
Absolutely. Now, let's start with a technique that changes everything. The one that stops translation instantly. All right, Eva, this first technique is extremely powerful because it trains your brain to think in English automatically.
Exactly. And the best part is, you don't need a partner, a class, or perfect grammar. You can practice this anywhere, completely on your own.
Here's how it works. Instead of trying to form big sentences, you start with micro thoughts. Very small, very simple English ideas. For example, when you look at your phone, don't translate from your native language. Just think, my phone.
Or if you're thirsty, don't translate first. Just think, I'm thirsty. Water. These tiny English thoughts help your brain switch languages naturally.
Exactly. Speaking is not only about speaking, it's about the thoughts behind the speaking. If your thoughts are in English, your words will come out in English more easily.
Students often ask, how many micro thoughts should I practice every day? Honestly, even 10 to 20 simple English thoughts during your daily routine can completely transform the way your brain responds to English.
It's just like training a muscle. Small, consistent repetitions create big results.
All right, John, should we move to the next technique, the one that helps you respond faster in conversations?
Okay, Eva. This one is game changing. Most learners understand English perfectly, but when someone talks to them, they freeze. Their brain tries to translate, organize, and then speak. And by the time they respond, the moment is gone.
Yes, and that's why the 5-second reaction rule works so well. It forces your brain to react quickly without overthinking.
Here's the rule. When someone asks you a question in English, you must respond within 5 seconds, even if your sentence is not perfect. Because fluency is not about perfection, it's about speed plus confidence.
Let's give an example. If someone asks, what did you do yesterday? Your brain might start searching for perfect grammar. I woke up at, I went to, but should I use past tense? Instead, you simply respond, I had a busy day. I went out with friends. Simple, quick, done.
Exactly. And here's a secret. Most native speakers don't always use perfect grammar either. They just speak without hesitation. This rule helps you build that same reflex.
Let's try another one. Someone asks, how long have you been learning English? Don't pause. Don't translate. Don't search for perfect vocabulary. Just respond. For a few years, I'm improving every day. You sound fluent, even though the sentence is simple.
And here's a great practice exercise for listeners. Set a timer for 5 minutes and ask yourself random questions out loud. Then answer them immediately, within 5 seconds. Questions like, what's your favorite food? What motivates you? What will you do this weekend? What's a place you want to visit? Quick questions and quick answers.
This will train your brain to think fast in English and remove the fear of speaking. If you practice this daily, you'll notice that your reaction time improves and conversations feel much more natural.
Perfect. Now, Eva, should we move to the next technique? That helps learners remove translation completely? All right, Eva. This next technique is one of my favorites. It helps you stop translating English into your native language and finally start thinking directly in English. We call it the no translation zone.
Yes, because here's the truth. If your brain translates every sentence, you will always be slow, and speaking will always feel stressful. So this technique teaches your brain to work in English automatically.
And the rule is super simple. Choose specific moments in your day. where English is the only language allowed. No translation, no switching back. For example, when you're making breakfast, when you're walking outside, when you're scrolling on your phone, when you're getting ready for bed. During these moments, you speak to yourself in English only.
Let's give a real example. Imagine you're brushing your teeth. Instead of thinking, I'm brushing my teeth in your native language, you say it in English. I'm brushing my teeth right now. Then continue with simple thoughts. I need to hurry. Where's my towel? I should drink water. My morning is busy today. You're not trying to make perfect grammar. You're just thinking naturally in English.
Yes. And you don't even need big sentences. Start with small, direct thoughts like coffee. Let's go. I'm tired. Beautiful weather. I need to call someone. This trains your brain to produce English without effort.
And here's the best part. After a few weeks, something amazing happens. Your brain starts using English without asking for your permission. You'll notice you react faster, you understand more, and speaking becomes easier. Because now your brain has practice thinking in English automatically.
And remember, you only need 10 to 15 minutes of no translation zone every day to see real progress. Consistency is the secret. Now, in the next tip, we'll show you how to speak confidently, even if you're shy or scared of making mistakes. All right, Eva, this next technique is powerful. And honestly, it changes everything for English learners. It's called the confidence loop method. Because most people can speak English, but fear stops their tongue, their brain freezes, and they forget the words they already know.
Exactly. People think they need more grammar or more vocabulary, but really, they need more confidence. Confidence is a skill, not a gift. And this technique helps you build it step by step.
Let's explain how it works. The confidence loop has 3 steps. 1 small English action, 2 small success, 3 confidence boost. And then that confidence gives you the courage to take the next action. This creates a loop, and every loop makes you more confident.
Let's give an example. Imagine you speak one simple sentence in English today. Hi, how are you? That's a small action. Someone replies and you understand it. That's a small success. And suddenly you feel, okay, maybe I can do this. That's a confidence boost. Then tomorrow, maybe you try 2 sentences and the loop continues.
The problem is, most learners wait for confidence before speaking. But confidence doesn't come first. Action comes first. Even tiny actions, like ordering food in English, asking someone for directions, leaving a comment in English, speaking one sentence to a friend, talking to yourself for 60 seconds. Every tiny action creates the loop.
And here's the key. Don't try to speak perfectly. Just speak. When a child learns a language, they don't worry about grammar. They just talk, make mistakes, and improve. You can do the same. Mistakes are not your enemy. They are your teachers.
So here's your practice challenge for today. Say 3 English sentences out loud, even if you're alone. Make them simple. Today was a good day. I'm learning English. I want to improve. That is your small action. That starts your confidence loop.
Beautiful. And in the next tip, we'll show you how to train your brain to think faster in English so you don't get stuck searching for words. All right, John. This next technique is one of my favorites because it trains your brain to think in English automatically, without translation. It's called the shadow copy method, and it's incredibly effective.
Yes! Most learners listen to English and then they stay silent. But with shadow copying, you don't stay silent. You copy the speaker in real time. Not perfectly. Not 100% word for word. Just a natural shadow behind them. That's why it's called shadowing.
Let's break it down simply. When you hear someone say, "I went to the store today," you immediately whisper or say softly, "I went to the store today." No thinking, no translating, just following the sound. It forces your brain to stay active, react quickly, think in English, and build fluency.
And the best part? You don't need special materials. You can shadow YouTube videos, English podcasts, movie dialogues, news reporters, even this podcast episode. Just play 5 to 10 seconds and talk along with the speaker.
Here's a pro tip. Don't try to sound perfect. Don't worry if you miss words. Don't stop if you fall behind. Shadowing is like a gym workout. You get stronger by doing it, not by doing it perfectly.
And here's why this method works so well. When you shadow, your brain is forced to listen, process, produce sound, and speak, all at the same time. That's exactly what happens in real conversations. So, the more you shadow, the faster your brain becomes at forming English sentences instantly.
Let's give them a 30-second shadow practice right now. Repeat this with us. I am training my brain to think in English. I don't translate anymore. I respond faster every day. Speaking English feels natural to me. Just saying this out loud activates your English speaking muscles.
Beautiful. Shadow copy method is one of the fastest ways to develop natural fluency. And in the next tip, we're going to talk about something even more important. All right, Eva. This next technique is the reason some learners become fluent, while others stay stuck for years. It's called the Tiny Habit English Routine, and it's based on one simple idea. Small habits beat big plans.
Exactly. Most English learners try to study too much at once. They say things like, "I will practice 1 hour every day." And then by day 3, they stop. Not because they're lazy, but because the habit was too big. Tiny habits are different. They are so small. Your brain can't reject them.
Let's give examples of tiny habits that actually work. Here are some habits you can do. In less than 60 seconds, saying 3 sentences about your day, reading 1 paragraph in English, listening to 1 minute of a podcast, shadowing for 20 seconds, thinking in English while making coffee, naming the objects around you in English, asking yourself one question in English. What am I doing right now? These tiny actions build fluency over time.
Here's the psychology behind it. Your brain loves small wins. Every time you complete a tiny habit, your brain says, "Good job, you did it." And it rewards you with dopamine, the chemical of motivation. That makes you want to do it again tomorrow. And this is how daily fluency is born.
And if you're thinking, can such small habits really make me fluent? The answer is absolutely yes. Because fluency is not created in one big moment. It's created through hundreds of tiny repetitions, spread across your day.
Let's help them build a real routine. Here's a simple template. Daily English tiny habit, 1 minute. 1. Morning. Think one sentence in English. 2. Afternoon. Listen to 30 seconds of English. 3. Evening. Speak 2 to 3 sentences out loud. That's it. Just 1 minute. But if you repeat it every day, your brain starts to prefer English automatically.
And once your tiny habit becomes natural, you can slowly make it bigger. 1 minute becomes 2, 2 becomes 5. And suddenly, you're practicing English consistently without forcing yourself. That's the power of tiny habits.
Great. Now the next tip is about removing the biggest barrier. That blocks fluency, fear of making mistakes. All right, John. Now we're entering one of the biggest reasons why people can understand English but still can't speak it confidently. It's overthinking. Most learners don't actually have a speaking problem. They have a thinking problem. They think too much before they speak.
Exactly. They worry about making mistakes, sounding wrong, not having the perfect grammar, being judged by others, or forgetting words. And this stress blocks the brain from producing natural English. But here's the truth. You cannot speak a new language without making mistakes. Mistakes are part of the process, not proof that you're bad at English.
So here's the rule we want our listeners to follow. The mistake freedom rule. You are allowed to make mistakes every time you speak English. Let yourself be free. Free to try, free to learn, free to experiment with words. The more mistakes you make, the faster you improve.
Let's give an example. Imagine someone says, I go to the store. Is that perfect? Number. But guess what? They communicated the idea. And communication is the true goal of language. Grammar can be fixed later. Confidence must come first.
Exactly. When children learn a language, they make thousands of mistakes. But do they stop speaking? Number. They keep talking, trying, repeating, and eventually they become fluent. Adults need the same mindset.
Here's a practice exercise for everyone. For the next 24 hours, every time you speak English, even one sentence, tell yourself, mistakes are okay. I'm learning. Say it out loud if you can. This simple mindset shift helps your brain relax, which makes speaking easier and more natural.
And here's a secret. When you stop fearing mistakes, your fluency increases automatically. Your brain finally has freedom to speak. No pressure, no fear, no perfectionism, just natural English.
Great. Now the final tip is extremely powerful. It will teach you how to think in English, even during real conversations. Here we are, the final and one of the most powerful techniques. If you master this, your brain will finally stop translating and start responding naturally in English. It's called the instant response framework.
Yes, most learners freeze in conversations because they try to translate every word, choose perfect grammar, build long sentences, and think too much before responding. But real conversations move fast. You don't have time for translation. You need instant reactions. That's where this framework helps.
The instant response framework has 3 simple steps. 1. Listen for the key idea. 2. Give a short, natural response. 3. Then add a small detail. Optional. Let's show them how it works.
Imagine someone says, "Hey, how was your weekend?" You don't need a perfect answer. You just need a short, quick reaction. "It was good." That's step 1. Then you can add a small detail. "I visited my friend." Done. Fast. Natural. No translation.
Here's another example. Someone asks, "Do you like your job?" Instant response, "Yeah, I do." Small detail, "The team is great." Again, simple, fast, natural. You don't need long sentences to sound fluent.
The biggest mistake learners make is trying to respond with big, complicated sentences. But fluent English speakers actually use simple responses in real life. Short sentences are normal. Simple English is natural. Fast reactions matter more than perfect grammar.
Let's give them a practice exercise. I'll say a question, and you listening. Answer immediately without thinking too much. Ready? 1. What did you eat today? Just say a quick answer. 2. Are you busy tomorrow? 3. Do you like traveling? 4. What's your favorite movie? Don't overthink, just react. This trains your brain to respond in English instantly.
And here's a powerful daily habit. Whenever you hear any question, even in your native language, practice answering it in English first. This trains your brain to use English as your default response language.
Beautiful. If you apply these 8 techniques, you will stop translating, start thinking in English, and speak with much more confidence.
And if you want more speaking practice, don't forget to listen to the next episode.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode. If you've made it this far, it means you're serious about improving your English, and we're proud of you for that. Remember, learning English is not about perfection. It's about progress, consistency, and building confidence one moment at a time.
Yes, today you learned 8 powerful techniques to train your brain to think in English and speak more naturally, but these techniques only work when you use them. So choose just one method from today's episode and start practicing it right after this podcast. Small actions create big results.
And hey, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure to follow our podcast and turn on notifications so you never miss another English speaking lesson. We release new episodes to help you speak English with clarity, confidence, and a natural flow.
You can also share this episode with a friend who wants to improve their English too. Learning together always makes the journey easier. And remember, your English voice is inside you. You just have to train it.
Thank you for spending your time with us today. Keep practicing, stay confident, and we'll see you in the next episode of Teach English Podcast.
Bye for now.